so happy to see so many of you show up to support this event. And the moving performance of the Rugby and the PDF was presented by the Department of Music. Thank you, Jason, and our young musicians. I'm Ji Ling. I'm teaching at Center for General Education at NSYSU, National Sun Yat-sen University. Before the seminar starts, I'd like to remind our on-site and online student participants, please, okay, I'll show you. Please scan the QR code and submit your feedback by the end of this seminar. Okay, so right. So this evening, we join more than 100 universities around the world in the project Soft Climate by 2030. For the story behind this opportunity to take part in this global event, let's invite our key person, Director of OIA, Professor Guo, who's teaching at the Institute of Communication Engineering. To give us an introduction of this seminar, Professor Guo.
Okay, thank you, Professor Lee. Good evening for all our students here, and also good day to all the international friends online. No matter which part in the world you are attending from this. As a Vice President of the International Office, I would like to welcome you all in attending this webinar here, and for our students, the local seminar here. This webinar is part of the so-called Soft Climate by 2030 Global Dialogue. It is a very momentous initiative across the Open Society University Network, we call it OSUN and Dialogs. OSUN is a global educational network aiming to address our global challenges. And our university, National Sun Yat-sen University, is proud to be part of the members. And today's organizer, Professor Ji Ling, in correspondence with Professor Eban Goodstein, who is the original idea of proposing this Soft Climate by 2030 initiative. So in answering his request, so also putting a lot of effort in organizing today's event. And I'm glad to see so many of you, our local students here from NSYSU, and also as I was told that we had a lot of students sign up online, attending from all over the world. Okay. For those of you who cannot join us here today, and I hope one day you could come join us, come visit our campus, which is a very beautiful, located at a very beautiful seashore location with a very gorgeous beach. Okay. So it will be worth your while to come join us, in person. And the National Sun Yat-sen University, we has always been making serious efforts in maintaining a sustainable campus. And to just name just a few initiatives that we have taken in the past 3 years, we have replaced all the light bulbs with energy-saving ones over the year span. And all the available rooftops of the buildings across every corner of the campus, we have installed solar panels to provide additional electricity. And also at the same time, recently, I think students here, you might have noticed that the irrigation of these flowers and lawns are still ongoing. But don't mistake that the water that we use in the irrigation is still a recycled water. Okay, none of those are, so it doesn't affect the drought situation that we are currently experiencing. So that just shows one more factor that to keep our earth sustainable is more important. And also, like all the toilet water flushing is also used recycled water. So we don't waste a single bit of clean water on this part of the usage. And I think at the same time, our Taiwan government has also achieved quite a lot on the carbon reduction and energy saving. So it is with great honor today that the organizer of today's event, Professor Lin, and also along with the university, we have invited 3 speakers. They are the 3 top experts in individual areas And then they come here, join us to talk about the climate solutions and also the actions carried out by our government and also by the industry and also in the academia. And they will be talking from three interlinked dimensions, which is from the air, from the land, from the ground, and also from the oceans, and mainly focusing on carbon reduction. And our first speaker will be Dr. Tung. He's from the government sector, and at the same time, currently he serves as the Director General of Information Bureau of our local Kaohsiung City government. And he'll be talking about the current air pollution management policies of this city in particular, and also in general in the major cities here in Taiwan. And our second speaker is Dr. Lin. Okay, here, right here. He's a former director of the Agricultural Research Station, and he's retired. But over the years, he's been devoted to his career in promoting sustainable agriculture and so-called smart agriculture. And he has always been at the scene, helping our farmers to cope with extreme weather. And he'll be talking about circular agriculture and carbon fixation method. And the third one is from our within our campus, Dr. Chang. He's a marine scientist, and also the captain. We have a research vessel, and Dr. Chang is the captain of this vessel. Okay, and marine science is a very strong research area of our university, especially like ocean current electricity generation. And these are one of the highlights of our university. And then Professor Chang, he will be speaking from the marine perspective. Okay. And today, of course, that we will also hear the perspectives of our students. So apart from our panelists' talks, I also look forward to our students' presentation. Some of them have already prepared some presentation and their ideas of solutions to keep our Earth sustainable, and also their visions of the Earth, in 10 years to come. The soft climate by 2030, we must address the climate issues across all disciplines. That's why today's event, we cover 3 areas. And of course, these are not just, not only these 3 areas will matter, but due to the time of limit, of course, this is an ongoing effort, and we will be dedicate ourselves and all of our faculty and staff in this maintaining a sustainable environment. And so we must work together for our long-term benefit. Okay, so I look forward to a very wonderful webinar and seminar today. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Professor Gu, for your introductory remark. So we would like to invite everyone for a mass photo now to keep a memory of such a unique gathering. Right, so would you please move a bit forward to the center? So we are now showing a message from Dr. Eban Goodstein, who's the director of this project.
Welcome to the Solve Climate Global Dialogs. You're participating in one of 125 events held across the planet, including in almost all 50 U.S. states, part of a global project called Solve Climate by 2030. My name is Eban Goodstein, and I'm an economist and director of the Graduate Programs in Sustainability at Bard College in New York, the lead organizer for Solve Climate. This last year has been difficult for everyone. As the world looks forward to recovery from COVID, we are focusing tonight on the most important question facing humanity. What can we do in this year in our regions to help solve climate change while supporting struggling communities that have faced widespread loss of life, economic disaster, and joblessness? Worldwide, from Australia to Kyrgyzstan, from Colombia to Malaysia, and from South Carolina to South Africa, Solve Climate audiences are hearing from local experts and young leaders about concrete steps that can really help nations solve climate change while creating much-needed jobs and incomes for everybody. The year 2020 was one of the 2 hottest years in human history, bringing with it massive forest and grassland fires, record-breaking storms and hurricanes, and relentless rising seas. Solving climate is the challenge which the human species must now face. There's hope for the future. Solutions have continued to advance. This year, China committed to building a carbon-neutral economy, while the U.S. rejoined the Paris Agreement. Solar, wind, and battery prices continue to fall, while major car companies have been rushing to electrify the global fleet. Worldwide, movements for Black Lives Matter and Me Too are leading in bringing much delayed and urgently needed justice to the world. Time is short. We have until 2030, 10 years to solve climate. We didn't get a lot done in this decade. We have the solutions, but only if we focus the world on climate solutions and justice, and then do the work we have to do in our own cities and regions. For students listening, you are the leaders. Without you, the future we envision will not come. I'm asking tonight for your help. We're going to discover powerful ideas for climate solutions and climate justice, and how you can be a part of the solution. But this message must reach beyond those of us who are listening right now. Would you ask all your teachers this week in every subject to make climate a class? The teacher can assign tonight's webinar's homework for the students, and then afterwards have a one-class period discussion. And we mean every subject, from art to engineering, psychology to business, dance to chemistry. Teachers don't need to be a climate expert to lead a discussion about climate change. The Solve Climate Project has easy-to-use teacher's guides in nearly every subject and in 3 languages to help teachers make climate relevant to their class. It only takes courage. Don't take no for an answer. Ask them, why not? This is your future. You'll be surprised how many teachers will say yes and thank you. Imagine you, thousands of leaders like you around the world asking their teachers once every school term to make climate a class. That means every term going forward, hundreds of thousands, millions of students worldwide in their classes talking about climate solutions. COVID has shown how fragile our global economy and society are to extreme events. It's also shown that vulnerable people are facing the hardest, most damaging impacts. This is also true with climate change. Science has made it clear that unchecked global warming will mean an unending onslaught of extreme events, causing untold suffering for humanity and all creatures, species driven to extinction, a planet of environmental refugees. And yet, in many ways, this is the most exciting time to ever be alive as a human. We have the tools and networks and technologies to rewire the world with clean energy, reimagine the global food system, reinvent transportation, and regenerate forests and grasslands, and be well on our way to solving climate by 2030. Tonight, we will learn how to do this in our own cities, our own towns, our own regions. Thank you for the work you will do to promote climate solutions and a just world.
Right. So there are 3 focuses in Dr. Goodstein's talk, so which are closely related to our following sessions. So first, why 2030? Because we only have a 10-year window to accelerate carbon reduction, to make a rapid change. And why local action? Because every corner of the world is now facing different challenges, tackling different issues, but we work together. And most importantly, start now. So starting from this seminar, and make climate for many more of your classes. So now, let's invite our first panelist, Dr. Tung, to talk on the government actions and policies.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and students and friends here and around the world. My name is Chang. I'm currently the Director General of Information Bureau of Kaohsiung City Hall. I'm also a professor at the National Zhongxin University who teaching about landscape design and urban planning. And here is my pleasure today to show you about how Kaohsiung City government, as a local government institute, how we will be able to participate in this global climate emergency, and how we will be able to use the public policy tool on the issue of carbon reduction in our society. Okay, so first, let's understand what is Kaohsiung is going on. For the past 20 years, the Kaohsiung City is going through a silent green reform. The silent green reform is because we are a post-industrial cities, which, as many cities around the world, they will have a lot of heavy industry and factory in our cities. So since 1998, when the first deputy mayor was elected, a green reform has been installed for the betterment of the Kaohsiung City. It first focusing on the green light of the city environment and began to construct a spongy cities. The second, we are trying to construct a rapid transit systems to provide a green transportation system for the city, so we will be able to reduce a lot of carbon emission by car or others. And the third, we try to introduce the new thermal energy technology to accelerate action on reduction carbon dioxide emissions. So let's see, this is the green line of our city environment. By constructing more land, more green field for the city, so that on the one hand, we provide a place so that we will be able to like a sponge city, to absorb more water. On the other hand, we will be able to reduce a lot of carbon emissions. Also, we're building a lot of cities by installing different kinds of systems, so that the city becomes a kind of spotlight, so that we change the city's industry from heavy industry to the service industry. And by making this, so that many people will be able to come to visit Kaohsiung, and this city becomes a different kind of city spotlight. So here you can see this is our harbor. The harbor also be changed, and we'll have a light rail passing by. So many people will be able to come to this city and enjoy the cities. So let's begin by talking about how Taiwan will be able to reform our energy policy, and how Kaohsiung City will be able to participate in using the public policy tool to participate in the carbon dioxide emission reduction. The first is that we reduction the coal burning power plant. By reducing the coal burning power plant to the 27%, then we increasing the natural gas burning power plant to the 50%. So at the same time, we still provide enough electricity for the industrial to use, but at the same time, we provide a much clean energy for our to use. Also, we abolish the nuclear power plant, so that at the year 2025, we will no longer rely on this very dangerous coal nuclear power plant. But we increasing the renewable green energy to the 20%. So we will be able to enjoy a clean energy at the same time, still looking for the prosperity of a city industry. And how we will be able to make the policy to reducing the carbon emission. For the government, for the Kaohsiung City government, the first strategy is that we find out some innovation technology for the thermal energy. We importing this kind of energy to add different kinds of power plant to reduction their coal burning and also reducing their carbon dioxide emissions. And the second, we also strongly install more public transportation including the city light rail and the rapid transit. And the third, the most key issue for a government to do is that we try a new way to communicate with public about how we would like to do this and how we will be able to do this and how our public can participate in this. So the carbon dioxide emission should be a common sense for our citizens and not just certain people. So the first things for the Kaohsiung City government to do is that we follow the SDG 11 to start talking about the first. We ask the major power plant, Sinda power plant, to reducing its coal burning machine and try to retire the number 1, number 2, 1, and the others also provide a much earlier year, so that all the coal burning power plant will be off by the year 2026. By the year 2026, there will be no coal burning power plant in Kaohsiung City. At the same time, we ask government-related industry to renew their system. So all the systems that related to any carbon dioxide emissions, they will be changed to a new technology. By using this new technology, then we will not only reducing the carbon dioxide emission, but also NOx and VOCs. Others chemicals will be like PM 2.5, will be also reductions. And the third one is that we're increasing the mass transportation systems. So we're not only building more light railroad, making a circle, but also we build up more rapid transit system in Kaohsiung, so that many people will be able to participate in this green transportation system. So all the system will be done by the government and by the request of the government. 1744 factories boiled will be at the end of this year will be totally changed to a new one. So it will reduce a lot of carbon dioxide emission, also PM 2.5. The mayor itself go to the lots of factory and the national related company to ask them to install this new technology, so that all the carbon dioxide emission will be reductions. And also we ask all the diesel car to change to a new kind. Because not only the fixed polluted, but also the mobile pollutions also are cause one of the major issues in Kaohsiung. So our two major resources of air pollution come from not only the fixed pollution resource, like our factory that I previously was saying, but also the mobile pollutions. So the government also asks all the diesel cars should be renewed and should be changed to a new one. By changing this, it already will reducing, as the net has shown, it reducing more than ever. Okay, so as we said, that all the carbon coal burning power plant will be reducing. Also, we provided this new transportation map. It shows that a lot of things that we are doing will be continuing to doing. Not only the circle line of the light railroad, but the new yellow line to extend to the Pingtung city. The red one also will extend to others. All these are trying to prepare for this city a new and green transportation system, so that people will not rely, as we are right now, on motorcycle, on a lot of car driving. We will become a much green transportation system and green transportation cities that will be able to reduction a lot of carbon emissions. So the mayor asked the whole light rail system to open. And we also designed for the light railroad system as a city sightseeing. So as we say, the Kaohsiung city is trying to greening. The purpose for greening is to change this city's industry from heavy industry to the service industry, to a much high-tech industry. We hope in the future the Kaohsiung City will be the new base for the high-tech industry like 5G AIoT systems. So we can see in the future, this will be our light rail passing through the Art Museum. So we are not only providing a green transportation, but also providing green environment. All this green environment will be able to help our city to reduction more carbon emissions. The third thing is that how we will be able to communicate with the public. In the past, our government is like all state apparatus. The only way the government can communicate with the people is by ordering the people, saying, you should not do this, you should do this. But nowadays, a democratic government is trying to communicate with the public. So we are not only use the traditional news media, but we also use the social media to provide clean information. Let people understand what's going on with the government, what's the government's action on reducing carbon dioxide emissions. Also, we also cooperate with the KOL. A lot of key opinion leaders on social media, we invite them to use their participate to see our country, to see our government, to see our city, what happened on this city, and how this city is changing through their perspective and through their participate in the public policy and other things. We will be able to change Kaohsiung to a different kind of city, to a much green city, a city with a future, therefore our young generation. So as you see that this is some news report.
要改善高雄的空污之间呢，多管齐下，输入获得的成效从2倍已经上升5.9%。
To reducing our air pollution, such as closing down lots of government-related companies, their coal-burning things, and building the new types of using the new technology to building the new type of things.
110年跟112年，总共。
Also,
要改善。
We ask the KOL to visit our city, to show them how they perspective about Kaohsiung, and why they like Kaohsiung and why they dislike Kaohsiung. And through these different kinds of perspective, we will be able to show the world and to show our citizens what's the things that we should do and what's the things we should not do. So communicate with the people is the major thing also for the government. Okay, at the end, I would like to say, reducing the carbon dioxide emission is not just the public policy for the government or a job for the government. Reducing carbon dioxide emission, also reducing the PM 2.5. It take the global effort. It need to take the group effort. We need to ask everybody to participate. As a government leader, our mayor took actions, asked all the others to participate, including the private sector factory, including the government's related company, to reducing their carbon dioxide emission by employing the new thermal burning systems. But also, at the same time, government itself took actions on providing much more green energy-related transportation. And the third thing is that we try to build up a communication system with our citizens so that people can voice out their idea, can voice out their different opinions, so that we will be able to work together to build up a better Kaohsiung city. And hope this will be a project for everybody to participate. Once again, thanks everybody to hear, and hope we can take our global effort to change the world. Thank you.
Indeed, it takes everyone's efforts to work on a healthier city. So now we welcome our first student presenter to address the solutions.
大家好，我是 Louis。
Good evening, everyone. I'm Alexia, and you can call me Lexi. Here's my favorite quotation. Some men have thousands of reasons why they cannot do what they want to, but all they need is one reason why they can. As for me, I think I'm a human being that born on this land, on this planet, just like you. And I do believe that I have the responsibility to be aware of these climate change issues. So, let's see what I want to show today. Okay, I can bet that all of us have heard about PM 2.5, but do we really know what exactly are they? They're actually tiny smoke particles from air pollution. We can say that these particulate matters are smaller than 2.5 micrometers, or we can say they are larger than viruses but smaller than bacteria. And they can be floating in the air for a long time, and they can go into our body, then finally reach our alveoli, then diffuse through the bloodstreams and go into our, transported to our whole body. And PM 2.5 can also intensify the global warming and then influence our climate change. So, where are they from? Actually, they are composed of many things. For example, dust mites, secondhand smoke, fossil fuels, intense, and so on. So, I guess you all know what I'm going to say next, right? Yes? I'm going to suggest that we should start energy saving and carbon reduction. Here's a list. Switch to energy-saving light bulbs, give up our cars, eat less meat, use reusable bags, and recycle. These ways are pretty easy and a lot of them, right? But wait a minute. Don't you think these things have been repeated over and over again? The only question is, will we do them to save our planet? Lots of people just don't realize how enormous impact they can bring within their daily habits. These ways are pretty easy, or we might say that they're much easier than our lives. So they might seem negligible, but don't forget we have 7 billion people that populate on Earth. If we sum out our effort together, the influence would be unpredictable. Each of us is definitely important. Take me as an example. Here's the relationship between beef and PM 2.5. The cattle feeds on grass, and it can exhaust CO2 by 3,000 to 4,000 each year. So, if we produce 1 kilogram of beef, we also produce 100 kilograms of CO2. And this is equivalent to we drive our cars for 71 kilometers. And if a person would choose not to eat meat for 1 day, he can reduce by at least 2.4 kilograms of CO2. So, if the world population would try to choose more vegetables instead of meat, we can reduce 1,872,000,000 kilograms of CO2. Sounds incredible, right? Even more, if we were willing to make a day called Meatless Day. Just imagine how much carbon reduction we can achieve. So I make a plan. We'll do it once a week, and in that day, we'll choose more vegetable instead of meat. This method is actually really worth to try, since it's not only helping our planet, but also very good for our health. I majored in chemistry, and in recent years, green chemistry has been rising and become the fashion trend. In our lab, we're developing some new methods that can achieve the same products, but we try to reduce the plastic materials, and we also try to avoid some high toxicity materials that may cause pollution. And we also try to recycle some solvents that can be purified and reused. Since I was born, I was educated to study hard, to get a grade 8 in each subject, and to find a fantastic job. And what is our final purpose? To get a better life, of course. But have you ever imagined what kind of life we really want? In my imagination, I want to live in a clean environment. When I want to walk out, I don't have to check today's air quality. I don't have to worry the air outside might harm my health. And if I'm a billionaire, but I have to wear a mask every day, and half of my money should be paid for my medical insurance since the environment outside is too terrible to live. Fortunately, we still have time to change this tragedy, but it must be now. I've seen how dramatic our environment has changed. Our world tended to put the economic benefit on the top of our pyramid, but many species have been extinct, right? And our climate is getting more and more extreme. So it's the moment that we should stop our footsteps and take a look at this planet. It's sick. Sustainable is not just a word that we use for a slogan or what, but it's a word that we should embrace from the heart and do something realistically. Alexia, thank you.
Thank you, Liang, for your vision and for your daily practical solutions. So now let's invite our second panelist, Dr. Lin, to introduce innovative strategies from the perspective of agriculture.
Good evening, everybody. It's my great pleasure to be invited here as a speaker tonight. I'm very glad to speak at this climate event. In my career, for many years, I worked as the Director of Agricultural Bureau and the Research Station for Taiwan government. For a long time, I stand in the front line solving drastic situations caused by extreme weather and witnessed so much suffering and damage to our environment, plants, animals, and farmers. Climate change is mainly caused by human behavior, which lead to the global warming impact. We are the world citizens, and we are obliged to participate and to take action to address our solution for climate change. I'd like to share my experience in working on carbon reduction from the aspect of agricultural production. Circular agriculture is one of the major tasks, and the ongoing effort stretched by research on decreasing carbon emission for agricultural activity. Circular agricultural methods are less harmful to our ozone layer. I'll be talking the progress from two aspects. One is carbon fixation, using biochar and its obligation on healthy soil improvement in order to increase the land function. The second effort is using more eco-friendly farming equipment. This is important to find new alternative material and reducing petrochemical equipment waste, such as use less plastic in the process of farm and fishing. First, carbon fixation with biochar. Biochar is a concrete matter. When an organic matter consumed in an axial or in complete combustion condition of high heat, called pyrolysis, it turns to a concrete matter called biochar. For example, the tree remains stuck after a forest fire are natural biochar. The benefit of using biochar in conditioning soil is to seal the environment's carbon and hence reduce carbon emission. The reason is because of the inert carbon chain delays its biological breakdown. Research shows that the half-life period of carbon biochar is 500 to 1,000 years or longer. To take this advantage, biochar has to condition the soil and create long-term carbon sink. Currently, two strategies are practiced in promoting using biochar. One is to set regional carbonization centers to buy agricultural leftover, such as corn and rice stem, rice husk, and tree branches to produce and sell biochar. The other major strategy is to assist the farm to have their own biochar oven. It's possible for a farm to operate their small oven to produce biochar for self-use and to solve and for producing alternative energy. The produce of biochar helps to promote circular agriculture of generating green energy. I'd like to take the opportunity to introduce the first biochar power station in Kaohsiung District Agricultural Research and Extension Station.
台东过府的漂流木或是农业废弃木，现在有了新的用途。全国第一座生物炭发电系统，今天在高雄区农业改良场亮相。农委会主委林宗贤也特别南下支持，让农业的废弃物一路可以循环再利用，功能多又环保。
果树残枝一根一根丢进机器里，超强马力把木头搅成碎片。别小看这些碎屑，因为这可是循环农业的。
It is an example circular agriculture.
后方就是由这一堆
全国首座生物炭发电系统在高雄区农业改良场亮相，农委会主委林宗贤还特别南下，认真听取报告。这座发电系统以气化炉收集可燃气体，几乎达到完全燃烧。 可避免农业废弃物露天焚烧所产生的空污问题，还能产制木畜液、焦油等农业副产品，生物炭也能用来发电，等于是微型电厂的概念。
进料大概150公斤的木质材料进去，最高可以发到100 kW 的电力，相当于是100户家庭用户1小时的用电量。
大家最头痛的原来把它当成废弃物。 我们透过前端的破碎处理到生物炭，然后变成是可以来做热效率发电，然后到它的末端有更多的这种生物炭的资材。
林宗贤不断点头，就说这套系统能被更多人看到。毕竟每年台风过后，大量漂流木以及果树残枝的量都非常大，如何善用农业废弃物再利用？ 尤其在提升绿能供应，可都是台湾未来的重要课题。美食秀红社屏东报道。
The biochar power station find alternative usage of the agri-waste and the huge amount of dried wood caused by storms to produce green energy. When more farms include this in their farming process, it is expected to extend the impact of using biochar, which helps soil conditioning, carbon fixation, and provide alternative energy resources. The second solution focuses on the petrochemical equipment products used in the farm activity. A significant example is the plastic sheet called the agricultural film, used to cover the soil, which normally cannot be reused. It is unable to be recycled due to the dirt, the chemical, and also the recycling process is time consuming, and the cost, example usage of water, does not meet the profit condition in the modern days. We found that both the farmer and the industry have no interest and no time to deal with the plastic waste. It certainly increases carbon emission. To solve this issue, a small machine is invented, which helps to clean and speed up the collecting time of plastic sheets. A significant example is application on the strawberry farm. In Taiwan, growing strawberry used a huge amount of plastic sheets. It produced 250 tons of plastic waste per year. Two governmental agents have been working together to solve this. The Agricultural and Food Agency and the Environmental Protecting Agency. The machine is called Agri-Film Collector. It helps the farm to clean and weigh up the plastic film and save the work for the recycling manufacturer. It increases the recycling and the use of the plastic film. It contributes to our environment health and carbon reduction. Maybe to introduce a bit how the machine works. Please see the picture in front of you. Toward the end of my talk, I'd like to urge the young students and all of us to care about our agricultural development regarding new policy and new technology, and also to have an insight of how grow food, which helps to solve climate challenge. And this sustainable action you take show you your support of eating wisely. Thank you, everybody.
So, Dr. Lin, thank you so much for your devotion to circular agriculture. Right. So now we have 3 student groups to share their solutions, for campus actions. So let's welcome the first group of students on the app design.
Hello. Greetings, friends. Greetings, friends from worldwide. My name is Alex Huang, and today I want to share a cool idea about why we can bring our climate back by eating locally. And by the way, there's my group. Please stand up. So before we start, I want to make sure that everyone knows a word named carbon footprint. It means the total amount of greenhouse gases generated by our action. It means the life stage of a product, like the exaggeration, processing, manufacture, use, and waste management. All the stage of a product will produce the carbon dioxide. So when we add all of them together, we will get our carbon footprint, right? So back to my point, why we should eat locally? Because the local food does not need preservation, does not need transportation, and even sea transportation. All this activity will produce a large amount of carbon dioxide, right? So let's play a little game. Here are 2 apples. One is come from the Taichung, Taiwan. Another is come from Japan. I want to ask the audience to guess which one is come from Taiwan. Come on, take a guess. The first one or the second one? This one, the first one? Take a guess. Local. Okay, the first one. Which one? First one. Still the first one? Alright, come on, give me a different answer. Professor, which one? The second one? Alright. The professor is right. The second one. And let's talk about the differences between these two apples. Let's talk about price first. The apple come from Taichung. It's cost me around $30. It's roughly like $1. And the apple come from Japan cost me 90. Means free, around $3. And let's talk about the carbon footprint. The apple come from Taiwan. Carbon footprint is roughly about 50 grams. And the apple come from Japan. The carbon footprint is roughly about 1,000 grams. See the differences, right? But you cannot see the carbon footprint by looking at apple. So, how can we know the food we eat is come from local or abroad in our daily life? We come out the best solution. By the sticker we designed, you can see the shape means local, and the fish and staple food means the food from ocean or the food from land, pretty much mean all of it, right? So when you see the sticker on the food, it means the food is come from local. And now we are promoting our sticker to school cafeteria. In the future, we wish them will put our sticker on the food they sell and even give a discount to the student or to person who buy it. Sounds awesome, right? And that's why we should eat locally. And this is a fun situation that while you're eating locally, you are also saving the planet. Thanks for listening.
Apology. I think to make the order a little bit mixed. So that's the group for promoting solution for promoting local foods. Right, so now let's welcome another student presenters. So you'll be talking about the app design, right? Okay, so that's the group for, and the one you just heard is about promoting local food.
Hello everyone, we are students from National Sun Yat-sen University. My name is Yan Xiang and he is Guang Hong, and they are our team members. We are majoring in information management and financial management. Today, I'm going to talk about how to reduce carbon emissions by eating wisely. Here comes our contents. Each of them is reduce carbon emissions, the reason why we don't buy local agricultural products, how to increase purchase intention, and what will happen if we do. First, I want you to think about how to reduce carbon emissions. We may say eat less meal or eat more vegetables, drive less individual vehicles, or take more public transportation. Today, I want to tell you, eat wisely can also reduce carbon emissions. Please take a look at the pie chart. We can see the transportation is 14%, and it is the third large part of all. So if we choose to eat local agricultural products, the carbon emissions will not increase due to the distance of the production area. Here is our viewpoint of why people don't buy local agricultural products. First one is the higher price. Mass production abroad can keep the cost down, so the price of local agricultural products is higher than imported. Second one is inefficient marketing. The local agricultural products are not attractive to the local customers because the lacking of good marketing plans. And based on the above points, we can say that there are not enough incentives.
And let's talk about how to increase purchase intention. In our opinion, the most effective way to reach the goal is to increase incentives. And we urge that the government, enterprises, and farmers can cooperate with each other. The government should play a role of leader to invest in local agriculture, and the enterprises must act as intermediaries between farmers and consumers. When consumers pay money to the company also gives part of their income to the farmer. We offer a solution. The enterprises can develop Carbon Pay, a mobile application. When we buy some local foods, local agricultural products, we can get some points, and the points can use to discount. For the farmer, they can sell their products through the app. Therefore, we can decrease purchase costs and increase potential customers by using this app. What will happen if we choose to buy local agricultural products more frequently? The amount of carbon emission will decrease year by year. We are not sure it will decrease a lot, but if we don't do it, they will never make progress. In our vision, 50% of carbon emission will decrease from transportation will decrease by 2030. This is our presentation. Thank you for listening.
Hi there, my name is Jack. I am majoring in Department of Marine Environment and Engineering. Today, I would like to talk about the solutions to deal with the problem of how to reduce the single-use container. The single-use product brought some bad consumption habits to humans, but most people didn't realize that this convenience was built on the future credit. So in order to reduce this product, Taiwanese government promotes the use of the eco-friendly materials. So I'm going to introduce a campus action. In our university, we have a department named Aerosol Science Research Center. Its main job is to rent the eco-friendly tableware to users. They often join major events or booths and then rent eco-friendly tableware to users. However, it's a pity that the result is not as good as we expect because of the inconspicuous location of the service goods. So these are the actions photos. So there are two solutions of the list. First, we make it become service learning courses. This can solve the problem about the shortage of the manpower, and also it can introduce environmental information to everyone. Second, create a bigger campaign. Search like special discount to reduce single-use material. This can call users' attention on ecological problems. And then now I will talk about why it's efficient to don't use the single-use product. First, we all know that plastic is a petrochemical product. In addition, petrochemical is a highly polluted industry. And don't forget, when burning the sulfur oxide, nitrogen oxide, it will kill many polluted issues. And still, every plastic product will kill recycle problems, which means more contamination problems. Because of its product is not reusable. Thanks for your listening.
Okay, thank you so much for your practical solutions. Okay, so now we invite Professor Chang, who's a marine scientist, to talk about how to fix climate change from a marine perspective.
Okay, so good evening, everyone. I would like to thank Professor Lin, who's the organizer for this webinar. So it's my great honor to be here. So for me, it's very exciting for me to see many young students here. So I suppose that all of you are concerned about the environment issue and also the carbon dioxide emission issue. So today I would like to bring you some ideas for possible solution for solve this carbon dioxide emission. So I'm张詠斌from the Department of Oceanography, National Science University. So for all of us, we all come from the ocean. So as you know that many, not only the creatures, but also humans, all of us come from the oceans. And now we have very severe stress from the ocean. So what of ocean stress now we have? The first one is the warming ocean. So probably you already know the global warming issues. So you already know that the temperature increased very quickly. And now probably you never know that now the ocean becomes warmer and warmer. So this shows you one data that now global ocean has almost 1 degree increase from the past 6 decades. That means only 60 years the ocean increased 1 degree for not only the surface one, but also the intermediate ocean and also the deeper ocean. So it means that because the water, the ocean, have more capacity to absorb more heat than the atmosphere. So that means while the ocean increase the temperatures, it will become global quicker and quicker. So that will be a very severe problem. So not only for the fishes, or not only for the fishes, or also for the environment. So the other one is the ocean acidification. So the increased carbon dioxide in the atmosphere not only increase our warming temperatures, but also the ocean absorbs more than 1/3 of anthropogenic carbon dioxide overall. So that means since past 1 century, we already discovered that the ocean pH value has 0.1 unit decrease. So that means in the ocean, the hydrogen increased more than 50%. So only 0.1 unit means 50% increase of hydrogen. So in the future, you may be can be that in the future, less and less sure creatures like snails or like some crabs or some shells like seafood you like maybe decrease in the future because of the acid ocean. And the other one is the coral bleaching problem. So the global warming leads the increased air temperatures, and the air temperatures will make the coral become bleaching. So the breaching means that the algae living with the corals will live out the corals. That means the coral will be died quickly when they have no algae in their body. So this is another very important issue because coral environment is very important for fishes, for our ocean, and also for our ocean. Okay, so there's other stress like overfishing. So now more than 95% sea fishes was decreased, almost disappeared in this world. And the other thing is the plastic problem. So plastic invasion is very important because now in the deepest ocean, more than 80,000 meter deep oceans, we find plastic waste there. So it's very hard to believe in the before. But now, just last year, scientists find that in the trench, more than 80,000 different ones, we found out many cans and many plastic bags there. So it's very hard to predict. So besides the overfishing and the plastic invasion, so for global warming, and ocean acidification and coral bleaching, they are all relating to the carbon dioxide emissions. So what produces the carbon dioxide? You may already know that industry, transportation, power generators are the most important issues to generate out the carbon dioxide. So now if we can have new selection to have a new way to generate our power, less burning, that might bring our world more clear. So what is the solution of our green energy? So right here I will introduce some of examples of that. One is the wave power. So the wave power can generate some potential energy. So it can translate the potential energy into the power. So the other one is the tidal power. So the tidal power can be used everywhere because over the world we have tidal problems. So now using the new design turbine, we can use the flow of the tidal daily to generate our power. Although it's only locally, but if everywhere we can use some new design turbine, that means we can offer the power locally to communications. Another one is the current problem. The current, especially the crucial, is very familiar for all of us because now in Taiwan we are an island and we are surrounded by the seas. And just in our eastern part of Taiwan, we have a famous crucial. Crucial can transport large amounts of seawater from south to the north. So if we can have a new design of this kind of turbine in just outside of our Taiwan island, we can use the current power. So current power can if we can just have one section of this kind of turbine in the eastern part of Taiwan, that kind of crucial power can offer us more than one fire-powered plant. So the current is probably should be the one of our future selection in Taiwan because we have crucial. So what's the future visions? Now this gives you ideas how many potential energy of our ocean has. So you can see that it's a tremendous amount of energy just in our oceans. So if we can find a way to use that, then we can just reduce the fire plant. So in the future we can have this kind of compressed system. This compressed system can, for the multi-purpose, that they use the tidal, wave, and current directly. So the ocean power has the very great potential energy. So now we just lack of new design of this kind of technology. So in the future, the solution should be two ways. One is the innovation, one is the education. So we need to educate all young scientists. They can have more idea to have new technology to develop new systems, so we can use our ocean power. Okay, so now, but it's the future. So now what we can do? At the moment, what we can do is very simple, very easy. Just speak out, just voice your voice, just lay your voice out, and just make the right election, make the right choice. So you can affect the policymakers to let them know what you need and let them know what you want to pass. So they can change. You can just change it very quickly, just very easily by make the right selection. Okay, so that's what I want to share today. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Professor Zhang, for introducing the cutting-edge technology, which is the highlight of our university's research, and also encourage the young generation to voice out. So now then, on that note, a group of students has volunteered to express their concern on a current important issue in Taiwan. Let's hear them.
Okay, good evening everyone. I'm Yu Shengwang from Kaohsiung, Taiwan. This is Zhang Renyu, Chen Wei, and Chen Haorong, and we're all from National Sun Yat-sen University. Our topic today is energy efficiency and future energy. According to a Climate Change Performance Index, also known as CCPI, reported in 2020, our country was ranked 57th out of 61. In other words, compared to other countries, although Taiwan is only a small island, we are responsible for a great deal of carbon dioxide. One of the most important reasons is we're still using coal and fossil fuel thermal power systems as our major electricity supplier. Therefore, we not only pollute the environment, but we also contribute to global warming. So we must find some appropriate solutions to restore our Earth, because all of us are members of this good planet.
The Taiwan government has enacted Taiwan's GHGs Emissions Reduction and Management Act. And the Article 4 of the Act said that ambitious long-term goal of reducing at least 50% of greenhouse gas emissions by 2050, compared with the emission rate of 2005. However, we believe that Taiwan 50% reduction is far from enough, and that the Taiwanese government does not actually pay attention to this issue. As of today, 128 countries have pledged to achieve net zero emissions by 2050. But where is Taiwan? Net zero is that offsetting the total amount of carbon dioxide or greenhouse gas emissions produced directly or indirectly by a country to achieve relatively zero emissions by using low carbon energy to replace fossil fuels. Currently, there are many voices in Taiwan pushing our government to join net zero effort. With such global effort, Taiwan should not and cannot be left behind, or our future generation will suffer a hefty carbon tax by 2050.
The algorithm referendum, which has caused turmoil in the recent news in Taiwan, is closely related to the construction of liquefied natural gas terminal. The construction may threaten the ecosystem of Taiwan-Air, which was declared as a hotspot by Mission Blue, an international non-government organization. Taiwan-Air is home to many marine animals, including corals and this endemic coral species shown here. But what exactly are algorithms? People may confuse corals with algorithms. Well, unlike corals, algorithms are constructed by many species of algae that can undergo calcification. The most famous group is called coralline algae, as shown here. In Taiwan,
almost all of the university jointly established cherished algorithm referendum group to collect enough signatures to save Taiwan-Air algorithm. The group has already met a safety line of 300,000 signatures, and we have gotten over 700,000 in total. At NSYSU, our students also set up volunteer stand in public areas to pass out flyers and collect signatures. It's our hope to become a contributing effort in saving our algorithms in Taiwan. Due to the cherished algorithm referendum group, many students have become aware of the energy issue. My friends and I have brainstormed some new energy alternative concepts.
Okay, let's talk about our perspective. We believe that it's not practical to increase renewable energy in Taiwan, which often conflicts with agriculture and aquaculture. Therefore, we can only improve upon operating power plants, which are thermal power plants. We have two ideas. Firstly, improve power generation efficiency. Because Taiwan's operating thermal power plant still has a lot of room for improvement. If the power generation efficiency is improved, we could generate more electricity by consuming the same amount of fossil fuels. Secondly, reduce the damage to environment by fossil fuel power generation. Some people in Taiwan have operated carbon capture and utilization system, also called CCU, in thermal power plants. CCU cultivates microalgae to capture carbon dioxide produced from combustion. We hope that the produced algae powder will be used by biomass power plants, and the carbon dioxide generated by biomass power generators will be recaptured again and utilized to make algae powder, thus making a cycle.
Finally, I would like to say the environment cannot protect itself from humans. It's up to us to guard our national treasures. Thank you.
So many young people have been signing petitions to express their concerns and their viewpoints on how to balance between economics and environmental development. So thank you for your research and sharing your thoughts. Okay, so now this seminar will conclude with a song, because music is always the best way to communicate, to touch everyone. So this is an original song, right? It's an original song, both the music and the lyrics are composed by the student bands. So let's sing along with them. So yes, Taiwan now is facing serious drought situations. So we really need to take more actions to turn our climate back. So that's for today's seminar. So please give us feedback and share your comments. And I'll see you taking campus actions. And then so thank you for joining us and goodbye. Shall we call Bravo then? Bravo? Okay, so now please scan the QR code. It's the time to fill out the feedback and show us at the door. And thank you for participating in this event. So take it away then. Thank you. And then thank you for the director of OIA, Professor Godu. Okay, right. So I'll see you then. So that's everything for this seminar.
Okay.